Hello and welcome to Cursed Content Club? Oh my god, it's been so long. Welcome to Cursed Content Club, wherein we review fucking terrible things. Or maybe good things, we don't know. And we'll have to find out this time, because I don't think any of us have seen this.
I feel like I may have seen some reviews of this that left me with the impression that I've seen this, but I have not seen this.
Oh, I've absolutely seen this. I could have sworn you watched it with me.
Oh no. Oh no, that was real?
I think.
And I'm about to relive that?
Uh-huh.
Uh-oh. And I bought it on Blu-ray?
Yes.
I'm your host, Chris Wolfhart. With me, as always, are my co-hosts, Dan and Bob, video games of GigaBoots.com.
California. We did not plan that, just to be clear.
And Dr. Aggro from Dr. Aggro.
I'm still confused. Nobody is making us watch this. We just decided to do this to ourselves.
In a sense, society made us do this.
We can't truly be blamed for any of our own actions. But we're watching The Fucking Wizard. You know, the Power Glove. It's so bad.
It's so bad.
Ninja Gaiden. Ha.
Wait, what? I actually don't remember that.
Only vaguely. I don't know.
The Fred Savage movie where that is a combination of Rain Man and a Nintendo commercial.
It sure is. Now that I've seen Rain Man, it really is just, what if Rain Man was a Nintendo commercial? That's fucking weird. I did not see Rain Man before I saw this the last time. At very least, I know that.
They need to remake this, but make the main character Ryan Gosling.
Is he just the little boy in this, grown up?
Oh my god.
Sure.
That'd be incredible.
He's like a pinball wizard for NES, but it's the year 2023.
No, now it's Fortnite now.
Wow, he keeps up with the times.
Wow.
I just all I can see is the cover for Only God Forgives, except he's wearing a power glove.
See, I was just imagining there's like the scene where he beats up a bunch of guys dressed as like Genesis fans, like in Drive.
And then it's a Bob Chipman review, it turns out.
How'd this get released in theaters?
Oh no. Someone please like edit the Drive thing where he's walking and you see the Scorpion, but it's Captain N's jacket.
Yeah.
Oh god, now I want the Ryan Gosling Captain N movie.
Yeah, that sounds great. That's definitely better than what we're about to watch.
Right? Yeah, we got to save the crafting a better movie for when we're actually in the movie.
Yes, that's true. That's most of what keeps our brain alive.
There's a lot of dead air to fill here, after all.
Does anybody have any expectations for The Wizard?
This movie is literally Rain Man if it was a Nintendo commercial. Like, if you watch both of those things and had cough syrup and went to sleep, like you saw a Nintendo commercial in the middle of a commercial break watching Rain Man, and you were like 8 and you had cough syrup and went to sleep, this movie would just play itself in your brain.
Fair.
Bob, anything to add?
Not really. I remember this being distinctly uninteresting outside of those few scenes that became memes.
If it's a scene without the cool kid, I'm not interested.
God, I forgot
The cool kid has the glove?
Kid. No.
Yeah.
No. I remember.
You just forgot he was cool.
Yes, I forgot how cool he was, and I forgot I think some older kid who's also supposed to be cool.
Yeah, I don't remember that, so I guess I'm gonna get reacquainted.
Aggro, you got any thoughts?
I'm looking forward to the constant through line of subpar child acting being in one moment gloriously overshadowed by at least one scene of incredibly terrible adult acting.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That seems extremely fucking likely.
Well, for people who don't know, we do a commentary track after this, and if you want to
Then you can go to our Patreon at patreon.com/gbpodcast. In addition to a commentary track for The Wizard, you'll get like 50 other commentary tracks and also other benefits such as early access to our monthly anime review podcasts, an entire movie called Isolation 119. This isn't a joke, you get a movie, and other benefits.
It's pretty good too.
It is. We might have to arrange another cursed content on it very soon.
Hell yeah.
That's patreon.com/gbpodcast. Take us to Magus's castle, Dan.
Yeah!
we're back. So, Dan, what did you think of The Wizard?
The Wizard is a film featuring Fred Savage. In it is Rain Man. I can't believe how much Rain Man is in it. I did not see Rain Man before watching any of the reviews I watched ages ago or the movie before. Jesus Christ, it's just Kid Rain Man.
What is your number on the cursed content scale of -5 to 5?
I don't know why I didn't spend the movie boiling this number together. I just spent the whole film going, this is just the whole fucking thing.
It's just Rain Man. The whole
It's
fucking
just the
thing's
whole
Rain
fucking
Man?
thing,
Just
except for
fucking
there's
Rain
no
Man.
Tom Cruise. It's just Fred Savage. What a downgrade. I am going to give this film a 2.
Oh.
And a lot of that is resting on the laurels of large amounts of violence inflicted on that guy everyone hates.
Yes.
That's true. That is far and away the best part of the movie.
By and large, not a detestable film. The soundtrack's pretty good, inspired by the very same greatness as Rain Man. Tolerable film. Not good, not great, but it really doesn't dip deep into negative emotions for me. As we often do on Cursed Content Club, I believe Chris Wolfhard was the innovator of the "if it was on while I was building furniture" system, would I change the channel? I wouldn't. I'd let it play.
Okay. I'm going to give it a 0 under the exact same logic of mine that Dan just explained. I would not change the channel if I was in a room with this on TV. I would just let it rock. Bob.
I kind of like this movie more than I thought I would. I love the soundtrack. It's just 80s hits and also some original scores that are surprisingly good. Other than that, it's a pretty basic story, but it's not told in an offensive way, and there are definitely some fun scenes. Mainly that involve car crashes.
Vehicular violence.
Yes, vehicular mayhem in some way. So I'm gonna give it a 3. I'd be up for watching it again. Even I just like this.
Check this out. You could watch it again under a different title.
Yeah,
called Rain Man.
I'd love to watch Rain Man.
I really wish Street Fighter 6 didn't come out literally right now so I can talk you into directly following this with Rain Man.
Oh, that's a download and install. You can sneak in a Rain Man while that happens.
I preloaded.
Oh, I guess it's fucking over then, huh?
Yeah, it's actually booted into my PS5 right now.
Aggro.
There's a lot in this movie that, in the tradition of 80s and 90s children's films, just doesn't make any fucking sense.
No, absolutely not.
And a lot of this movie's plot leans on those parts that just don't make any fucking sense. But that's balanced out with so many great character moments that we'll get into later, and a lot of violence against a perceived pedophile. This movie never really does anything egregious or cringy, which you might expect from having this film described to you. So yeah, it balances out at around a 2.
Yeah, it doesn't really dip into anything that becomes like offensive, which is what I expected coming back.
Yeah, and to what Agro also said, like, it really does have some load-bearing off-screen conveniences. But yeah, it doesn't just hold your head underwater as you have to tolerate the obnoxious insert thing here scene, you know? There are tons of things you would expect like that.
Look, The Wizard takes place in a world slightly different from ours, where Nintendo's even more popular.
I don't know that you can get more popular than 1990 Nintendo.
Yeah, even right now, they don't seem as culturally dominant as they did back then. Like, they're really popular now, but they aren't video game.
Right? like they're not more popular, but they do have more of the market.
Yeah, Nintendo back then kind of feels like, let's say, 2010 iPhone, right? Where Android wasn't quite there yet and things weren't up to snuff. There wasn't a good ecosystem of quality competition on that end. And it just comes off as, you have some other thing. Is that no, it's not an iPhone? Okay, well, I have an iPhone, so.
Yeah, but we need to get to our segments. Aggro,
Mm.
Who's the best character in The Wizard?
That actually is a weird question.
It's got to be Spanky.
Darn it. Yeah, you're right.
This is a jovial truck driver who gets a phone call from a 13-year-old girl at 10 o'clock at night saying, I need you to come down to a casino and place a few craps bets for me. 2 days later, he gets another phone call. Hey, some guy who may or may not have perfectly valid legal documents touched me inappropriately. I need you to round up 3 of your friends, all get some rigs, trap him in a canyon on a highway and beat the shit out of him. And he's down, and then gives her a ride to Los Angeles and drops her off. I think everyone needs a guy like Spanky in their life.
Yeah, he's an enormous hero. Where's the sequel? It's all about him.
Oh, God, that would be so much better a film.
It can be about him inspiring the game Spanky's Quest.
It can.
Dan, who's the best character?
I'm gonna say our female lead. Haley's pretty cool. She has depth as a character, and she's not insufferable. One of the things I found out really quick growing up is that a lot of female characters, especially in, well, you know, all sorts of media, but a lot of kids stuff really get written to just be absolutely insufferable and terrible people. Haley's awesome. She's cool. She's not as cool as, you know, Inspector Gadget's niece, but these are unreasonable standards.
Wow.
Hey, what? These are kid media ranking of girl characters that rule. If I had a chart, that would be a red flag.
Okay, Bob.
Oh, man, the best two were taken.
Good luck, fucker. And me and Aggro pulling off in the fucking car.
Right? Oh, okay. The dad.
Yes.
Fuck. God damn it. It's just a wasteland now.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. I enjoy his arc of liking Nintendo more throughout the movie. Yes. His arc of getting better at destroying this other dude's car.
You know, I'm a little disappointed in him, though, because he didn't land the shovel javelin.
Yeah, fair.
Should have landed that shot and just had it go through his rear fucking window.
Yeah, and then near the end where he gets punched in the face by the alleged pedophile.
And then his son's like, oh, how's your nose? Are you okay? And I'm like, I'm so disappointed in both of you right now.
Right?
Yeah, I feel like if I was like 17 or 16 or however old Christian Slater is, I'd be so fucking thrilled to be justified in hitting someone.
Right, yeah,
Right.
of course.
Like, I'd be like, oh, this is what I've dreamed of my entire life. I'm allowed to beat up an adult.
We chased this guy into a theme park ride and he punched my dad. Let's fucking go.
My mind would fill with, like, doing video game executions on him into the gears.
You do the Mortal Kombat uppercut and he falls down like it's a stage fatality.
I guess I'll go with Lucas, just because it's funny how cutthroat this child is. Lucas will do anything to win.
Yeah, Lucas with the last second betrayal. It's so horrible. He becomes an ultimate villain.
I expected the Power Glove to be in more than one scene.
Oh, yeah. That's fair. Knowing that that's one of the few things that is like pop culture relevant from this movie, you think it'd be bigger.
That's the best character. I guess we got to get to the worst character. Dan, who's the worst character?
It feels really mean, but the disappointment levels are really high. Why did the older brother stop to console the dad? I don't know. I'm finished watching this film, and that's the number one question in my mind of why would you? Your dad's. He's fine. Go get that guy. What are you thinking?
They needed to figure out how to ride in that amazing elevator scene where the pedophile has the Riddler breakdown.
But see, you can write that scene and then immediately have the older brother come in and kick his ass. We could have been intercutting between Mario 3 and that guy getting the shit kicked out of him upstairs. That would have been peak.
Yeah, like in the fucking rafters, they're having like the fight from the end of Commando.
Oh my god.
That would have been gold. Yeah, so I'm going to have to go with him because at the end of the day, obviously the pedophile is an important villain in this movie, so it can't be him.
Aggro.
A legend.
No. Fictional characters don't get alleged. Are you going to say Char is an alleged pedophile?
Would never do that. For one, that's underselling his accomplishments.
God. Don't say accomplishments. So I'm going to go for a hard counter pick here. Worst character is Lucas. For two reasons. One, because when he did his horrible heel turn and pointed them out on the steps, I thought, man, I fucking hate that kid. That was a bitch move, Lucas. Why am I more mad at you than any other character in this movie? Oh, because this is, and now I have to think about Harry Potter, because the example everyone brings up of, yeah, like evil Satan versus petty tyrant. Why you hate the petty tyrant more because you've actually met someone like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I was mad because he made me think of Harry Potter. And also, throughout the entire film, I feel like he's a 600-year-old witch traveling in the body of a 13-year-old boy. He always has this weird, too knowing, far-off look on his face, like this transient mortal shell is not really his main concern.
I mean,
And
Lucas clearly doesn't have like parents or anything. He's probably like hundreds of years old. You're right.
yeah, no, he's just drifting through this ephemera, and he focused on this contest so much because it was new, and so few things are new when you've been around the sun as many times as he has. And you'd think after living for that long and seeing that much, you know, you wouldn't bitch out and point out your main video game rival to a pedophile on the steps of a Disney theme park. That was a bitch move, Lucas.
He just wasn't prepared to fight Lucas or fight Jim yet. Is most powerful. He's no Goku.
Guess I gotta go next. There's actually not that many characters in this movie. I'm gonna go with, and I have to. As a group, they represent one character, so I have to group them.
Okay.
The arcade bullies who shook them down. It's always really pathetic to me when they like, well, they have to be a lot older to be physically intimidating. So you get these like 19-year-olds shaking down a 12-year-old. And I'm like, a real bully would eat any of you guys alive. It's like you got pushed out of the bully economy and your targets had to keep going lower and lower.
It's true though.
Like I feel like the actual prime time 14-year-old bully would somehow show up and whip all your asses. Like these dudes needed a truck to shake down a pair of 12-year-olds.
Mm-hmm.
But Bob.
Oh, this is easy. The random girl at the pool who rats out the kids to the pedophile. What's wrong with her?
Yeah, what is her fucking deal?
The first one I kind of get, but then when he clearly starts acting like a psychopath, no, don't tell him where the second kid is.
Yeah, he's like grabbing Fred Savage by like the neck and shaking the shit out of him, and this lady's like, I guess he's on the level. I guess I'll tell him.
This looks like parenting in the 80s.
Yeah.
Well, with that, we have to talk about the best scene, and I'll go first. A lot of good scenes in this. I guess I'll go with the first conflict between the dad and the pedophile. When he slashes the dad's tires with a penknife, and when the dad is like, I'm gonna fucking beat the shit out of you, he lifts it up and waves it in his face to get him to back off. But the dad was only backing off so he could get a shovel out of his truck and starts smashing his car. He sadly didn't go far enough. I literally think it's like, well, if they smash the window, that's too much damage. We won't be able to use the prop car anymore. We only have so much money for this fucking movie. But yeah, that is my favorite scene. I feel like there's enough scenes for everybody to pick some scene like that, right? But Bob.
I'm actually going to pick the montage that starts with the kids getting on the motorcycles with the motorcycle gang. I like the song they use for that a lot, and it's got a lot of good energy as we just see like a road trip movie play out.
Yeah. If this movie focused more on that, I think it actually could have really good vibes. Like if it was really tightly tailored. I feel like there's just a little bit of a wandering energy to this that doesn't make it feel quite like a definitive road trip movie experience for these kids.
That's true.
That scene definitely has that energy, though.
They get in a rut once they get to Reno and stuff, for sure.
Yeah.
Dan.
And I guess we spend so much time with the dad. Right? That kind of breaks it up a little bit too much. I guess in a lot of road trip movies, you would have the pursuers or party B, and you would spend less time with them. So that way you just get the main thrust. But anyway, yeah, so there's a second fight scene between the dad and the alleged perceived pedophile where he just rams his car into them repeatedly.
Yes.
It was pretty good when they both just engaged Twisted Metal mode. But it's bullshit because somehow the pedophile's trunk is so strong it destroys the engine of the dad's
a pickup
car.
truck.
Yeah, it's that. I don't know what the power scaling of this world is. I don't know what's up with that, but dang, I feel like he got robbed.
At least Christian Slater was able to fix it within like the next 20 minutes. So, it's not that bad.
No. It wasn't that they had to fix. It was when the pedophile paid a tower who worked for a junkyard, not even a city tower, to just steal the car.
Well, also, that time it had to get fixed in order to get to the spot where the junkyard people towed it.
Yeah, I feel like it was fixed somehow off screen completely that first time.
Well, the first time it gets fixed because he knifes the tires, right? That's when it ends up at the mechanic. The second time's the mystery.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
The thing they do keep
There's a
going to
lot of
mechanics.
this car getting wrecked.
It somehow looks perfectly fine at the end. Like, it looks brand new.
Well, yeah, he fixed it.
Aggro, you're up.
I'm going to have to pick one of the many scenes that I feel like we were all surprised the pedophile skip tracer survived in the end. While they're in the casino and Haley shouts out an accusation of molestation and two cops, security guards, materialize out of thin air and don't assess the situation, don't ask any questions, don't lead him away to have a discussion, pick him up bodily and cart him out of the room. Presumably out back where there's a pair of shovels and a tarp.
Now, dear listener, if you don't know how this guy, if you've never seen The Wizard, you don't know how this character looks. He looks like Nate Silver, the political analyst. So just picture that and imagine police seeing that guy and hearing a young girl yell an accusation at him, and you'll have an idea of why they immediately acted.
But with a bolo tie.
Yeah, it's true. Slightly less evil than corporate casual. And as there is light, there must be darkness, so we have to go with the worst scene, and Bob's going to start us off on the worst scene.
This film doesn't have that much that stands out. It's like, oh man, what a terrible scene. It's hard to get through. Like, it doesn't feel like that. There's definitely weaker parts, but it's not like, oh man, I hated this. I'm trying to think. I'm going to have to give it to something we've already talked about. The dad and Christian Slater are chasing down the pedophile, and the dad gets punched, and then just everyone else fumbles, and Christian Slater stands there with the dad like, oh no, what happened? Like, that's just frustrating to watch.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah. I'll go next, I guess. Yeah, like Bob said, there's not a lot of scenes in this movie that are just frustrating. There's a scene way in the beginning where the mom is like watching Jimmy play with blocks through a window, and it's like a really dull scene where they're trying to talk about the legal status of these children and about putting Jimmy in an institution, and it goes on for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, and her new husband can't act.
No.
So, Aggro.
I think it might have to be the opening scene of this film.
I did just get angry before it ended.
The kid's walking along the highway, being followed by a Cessna who radios in his position, and like this truck becomes on the highway out of nowhere. And, like the cop stops him and, picks him up. But like, it's poorly acted. It spatially makes no sense. It sets an expectation of sick airplane action the movie does not deliver on.
Yeah, how did they not have the airplane to find him, like, for the main part?
Right? Because later on, the cop's like, we don't have the manpower to be looking after runaways. I'm like, bitch, you have air support for this. What the fuck? What else are you doing out here?
Well, that's a sheriff, and sheriffs are like, if cops had like, if cops sacrificed effectiveness for more racism. A sheriff is like a cop that min-maxed all their stats into bigotry. That's why they're elected. Damn.
I hate for this to be the last candidate for the last segment for this movie, but I did not choose to go last. I did not choose for any of this. I cannot believe you guys did not choose the absolute worst scene in this movie. It is so obvious. It is like a shining beacon of light. It's so bright. It hurts to even think about the movie because it just distracts me. Have you ever seen an action movie and you know that guy or a stereotype of a person where it's just like, he shot that gun 7 times. It only holds 7 bullets. So in this movie, it's about playing Mario 3. They play Mario 3 that makes no fucking sense. The visual signing for everything is insane. And then they're like, oh, he shoved the controller up his ass. He's getting so many points. It is a terrible, terrible scene, and I hate it every time I watch it. Somehow, Jimmy has cast a spell to replay the first level of Mario 3 7 times, then skips to the castle, uses a whistle, gets to a later world, which gets him way more points magically, and he wins. This is ostensibly the important scene of the movie. This is the climax of the action of the film. And it makes no fucking sense. Hate to be that guy, but that's it. And it drives me insane. It's like if they had a chase scene where the cars kept changing who was in front and who's chasing who.
I just have to assume they use some bizarre super scoring scheme we can't possibly understand.
Yeah, these were customized. These were customized cartridges like the Nintendo World Championship cards. A special version of the game where you get more points the further in the game you are.
It's like Nick Arcade.
Yes.
Well, I'm glad I got that off my chest. Now I never have to talk about that scene again.
That's it for our segments. Does anybody have any final thoughts on The Wizard?
Bob needs to watch Rain Man.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to watch Rain Man after this, after all the times in that commentary track, patreon.com/GB podcast, Dan just went, oh my God, this is exactly like Rain Man.
See, I have the opposite feeling that now I never have to watch Rain Man because I pretty much got the gist of it.
But Tom Cruise didn't run in this movie.
Wait, does Tom Cruise run in Rain Man?
He just might.
I mean, Fred Savage did, so it's pretty much the same thing.
The fuck? Pretty much the same thing as a white guy. It's fucking, this is the same shit.
This is messed up, Edgar. You know that Tom Cruise has the best run in Hollywood.
I mean, he almost dies every time he does it.
It was really nice after years of only knowing of this movie through memes. Like that's what kept it alive. It was a Nintendo movie. There were a couple of weird lines. That this movie's quality was exactly where I imagined it would be. It wasn't surprisingly better. It didn't biodome us.
Yeah.
It was just, that's exactly what I thought it was. That's nice when that happens.
This movie had a lot of good scenes we didn't even talk about, like when the truckers all beat up the pedophile, or God, what was the other one that I'm struggling to remember now? There was another one that was not related to the pedophile. Oh, when Fred Savage convinces the girl to kiss him by going, well, you're not going to kiss me? What are you, gay? She's like, I'll show you who's gay, and shoves her tongue in his mouth.
There was the time one of the tough teenage bullies I don't think understood he was about to get his shit beaten in by Bo Bridges in a diner.
Right? No, he was about to die. Lucas saved his life. The only good deed that child has any connection to.
I guess that's it. Go watch The Wizard. Maybe buy the 4K Blu-ray so you can see many things that they never expected you to ever fucking see.
I don't think they have a 4K Blu-ray. They just have a 4K remaster for a normal Blu-ray, which is already like unsettling because I'm like, that NES isn't on. What?
Why can you see? Why can we see the wires pulling these props? We're really not supposed to see them.
The executive producers for this GigaBoots video are Esme, Ely Broyles, Spaceman Spiff, Red Blaze 27, Brendan O'Sullivan, A Reminder for Symphony of War, Cooper Tank, Very Best Plot, Iconic Bane, and Rado. Thank you very much to our executive producers. And also these guys. If you want to become an executive producer or normal patron, head on over to patreon.com/gigaboots today.